All right, I think I've got all the streams up where they're supposed to be now.
Sounding real good, though.
Okay, if that's the case, then we can probably cue the jingle singers.
Get the chocolate chip cookies out for them.
Cue the singers.
Get the chocolate chip cookies out for them.
Cue the singers.
OTR. What is it? The Old Tube Radio Network.
Okay. Radio such that it is, or as it was, trying to get everything together here, trying to pull all the wires, all the pieces, all the parts. And once I do, then I will hand it over. I will hand it over to you, the Old Tube Radio operators, the shortwave listeners here on the Old Tube Radio Network. My name is Dennis. I think my name is here on my shirt somewhere. I'm wearing the official OTR special shirt that says, yeah, see, it's even got my name on it. That's the only way I can remember who I am. But you know who you are, and you know that you have those glow-in-the-dark radios. And we'll be wanting to hear from you and those radios coming up here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Channel 11 is where we are at. That's where the transmitters broadcasting, the radios you hear tonight will all be coming through on Channel 11. With the exception, we are going to try, we have re-upped our subscription to the Old Tube Radio satellite uplink tonight. And so we're going to try a special uplink to listen to a radio from the coast of California. Might need your help on that, so stay tuned for that. It is the first week of the new roll call, meaning that I have to choose the 00 item of interest. I will do that. And the new roster also has a couple of new shortwave listeners on tonight. So when we get to those, and what else? What else did I forget? I don't know. I think I'm transmitting. Things are good. It has been a cold, foggy day here in the Central Valley. Typical January weather like we used to have. I know there are, I think the Gulf Stream is doing its thing. So there is ice, snow, and freezing things happening in the southern states coming up. So hope everybody's got their hatches battened down how they're supposed to be doing that. So let me take a break here. We'll come back. We'll pick 00, and we will commence to begin, as they say, on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Woohoo!
All right, back. I will have the Echo link up tonight. The node, look for node 94810. Give known node. Let's see, I've got to disconnect here. Okay, good. I think I'm open for 94810 on the Echo link. And somewhere, who has the numbers for me to draw out? Is it Chet? Charlie? Somebody? Okay, hand me the numbers here. You're making me reach out of the camera here. Thanks for doing that. They go through all the stations of the last 8 weeks that have had perfect attendance on the check-ins, and those get thrown into the, what is this? The Costco card. It's the M&Ms. This is what, when you go to the green room, you know, the bowl, the candy dishes, you've got the M&Ms. Of course, it's empty. They should, at least you could have left one of the M&Ms in there, right? So I'd have something to munch on. So we are looking. I want to say thanks to Joe 60, who did our last 8 weeks and was there every single time to start stuff up. So let me see who is on. Do I have one? I have one. All right. And our new 00. You'd think you were getting a brand new car, but no, you're not. You're just getting a lot of hassle. This is I know this guy. That is Dave, SWL51. out there in Sangertown who might be listening. He might not be able to hear me. Hello, Dave out there in Sanger. Are you around there 305? All right, he's probably not even aware that OTR is on the air at the moment. But I'll get him checking. If you're playing the home game, our new home game is the 1-15-22. That should be right at the top of your page. And that'll go for the next 8 weeks. Where's my other screen? There's many things I have to look at to do this properly. I want to make sure that we are up on the live stream. And yes, we are all sorts of people out there. Hello to you. We will say hello also at oldtuberadio.net on the Universal Media Net website. A lot of stations out there tonight dialing in, so thanks for joining us. Starting off with 00, we get Dave checked in. Also SWL number 1, of course. Let me scroll up the page and see if... number 2 has made it out there tonight. OBP is out there tonight. What are the propagations? Sudden spot numbers is 112. Yeah, it's up to triple digits. A and K indexes have been fairly okay. The bands have been active from 6 meters on down through the much quieter up to 20 meters. And 40 meters has been good. 10 has been good. I heard some stations saying they were talking across the ocean. So... Cycle 25 is up and running. Thank you, Mr. OBP. He says we have some sporadic E on 10 meters, so it's possible we could have some DX check-ins tonight. We'll be looking for those. Let me bring my SWL check-in list. And if I bring this up, we'll have the overexposed S meter that doesn't work correctly. We'll get 00 checked in. We'll get SWL1 checked in. We'll get SWL2 checked in. How about SWL3? Shortwave listener number 4. SWL5. Shortwave listener number 6. SWL7.
SWL7 checking in through the noise.
Through the noise is good. And I would like, if you can, if you're going to be around at the end of a roll call, I want to try, we have... I think our time window is right around the top of the hour for our uplink, where we are going to try to link a station here in Fresno with a station out beaconing off the list. I think Mitch has agreed to put the dish up in his yard, Mr. 23 Skidoo. We're going to see if we can link up with his tram D201 and actually hear the tram on the air tonight. So if you have a chance, maybe we can go to tram. That would be pretty cool.
Well, I'll definitely stick around and try to do exactly that.
Okay. I don't know if my portion of the link is still set up correctly, but I know we do have some time to head up on the satellite, so we've got about a 5-10 minute window, so we'll try it then, just before we do the tube radios tonight. Thank you for checking in. Over we go to SWL10. I'm looking on the list here and seeing that would be Chris. Oh, Chrissy's in. Hello, 10. Thanks for joining us tonight. I was going through all the paperwork here, and I ran across the potato tot breakfast casserole. Here's I wrote it all down. I think that was the first recipe, and also 3 cheese chicken and noodle. So we got that. So I pulled out my recipes because I've got all my ingredients for the tater tot thing, except for the tater tots. I got to go get those. I've been eating them. Right out of the bag. So don't want to do it the wrong way. So 10 is in. Thank you, Chrissy. You are looking good tonight.
Breaker.
The breaker, go ahead. Over.
Yeah, Dennis, could I check in early?
Yes, sir. 53.
Yes, sir.
All right. It's cold out here in Fresno, Clovis, Central Valley. We've got you checked in. Thanks for stopping by tonight.
Thank you there, Dennis. Have a good night.
Okay. While we're at it, and while I'm on the page here, I know it's the the weather isn't conducive if you have to stay out in the cold. Are there any other stations that are hearing me right now that would like to get a quick check-in on the SWL side? Over. Okay, hearing none. Just jump in if you need to, but we will try and get through everything here quickly but accurately. SWL 13, SWL 14, SWL 16 is Charlie out of Anoka, Minnesota. Who's on the list tonight? A herd of unknown SWLs just trotted in through the balcony. I see their rubber ducks and paper bags. I don't know what's going up with that. Hello to Boston. Coming up, let's start in the front row tonight, where we have Anoka, Minnesota, right there. How could I miss you? And I will give you back the list, the items there. Thanks for putting in our numbers, doing the numbers. At least I could read the handwriting this time. I know it wasn't me doing it. Louisville, Kentucky, Scotts Valley. I know that place. Hello to Fresno, Dallas, Georgia. I will have to see what was going on. Woodland Park, Colorado, Inez, Kentucky, Newton's Inn, Kerman, California, Shinston, West Virginia, a host of others on your old tube radio tonight, listening, awaiting for the beaconing tube radios like myself. Thanks, Charlie, for checking in. Let's try SWL 17. SWL 18. I'm going to get Mr. KDA checked in from Facebook tonight. He's over on the Facebook side. And let's see. Okay, good. The Echolink is working. I see Tony. Tony's up in the queue coming up. Good deal. SWL 19 out in Derby, New York, or wherever it might show up tonight. Should be coming in here in a little bit. Oops. When the net controller says oops, who knows? I'll get him proxied in, but he should be in shortly. Over to SWL 20.
Hello. Please check in me, number 20, number 2954, and 135. As you can tell, I have a cold. So definitely tonight, Papa sings bass. Anyway, don't know how long I'll be around tonight, but as long as I can, I'll be here as long as I can. Check in another radio or two. Okay, back to you, Dennis.
Okay, yeah, sound like you've got your FM voice on. Stay well, keep the chicken soup handy, and we'll try not to tax you too much. So if you need to take the portable Grundig radio off to the other room and relax, please do so. But we'll be beaconing here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for grabbing the microphonium. SWL 21, that is Mr. JT out there in South Carolina in the Wasama Swamps. I don't know if you guys are going to be getting inclement weather. I was so busy I did not check, nor did I tune in Old Radio Night tonight. So if JT is out there, let me know what was going on. Let me know what was happening on Old Radio Night tonight out there. If the ground rod got connected or not. It's hard to know. I do miss it when I can't get tuned in. Over to SWL 22. SWL 23. 23 Skidoo. Checking in tonight from post-tsunami Santa Cruz. So what is going on there? 4 to 5 surges 30 minutes apart caused flooding and damage to the harbor. Thankfully, no injuries. I don't know. I've been listening to the weather. Are we in for something? It's just been standard yuckiness here in Fresno, so maybe you're sending something our way. I know that the Gulf Stream is doing its thing, so southern states are going to be getting some strange things. No injuries. Well, that's good. Go outside and check your uplink dish, because we've got, as you know, we've got some time scheduled at the end of the roll call here, top of the hour, near the top of the hour, coming up to see if we can't link up on the tram. I think you said you were going to try it with the tram, and maybe here to Fresno. So if you don't have the dish set up or something, let us know, and maybe I can reschedule that. But we are going to try that. So good deal. Glad all is safe. Thanks for the report. Let's go over to SWL 24.
Break.
The break. Go ahead. Over.
Yeah, just real quick, Dennis. The reason we're having the surge and everything on Dill, there was a volcano that erupted out in the Pacific, which is causing havoc all along the West Coast, and it's hit Hawaii already today. It's come up over the highways and stuff. It was like a 2-foot surge over there. I think we got like a 2-foot surge here, so we're catching havoc all up and down the West Coast from that volcano that's erupted underneath the ocean.
Wow, I did not know that. I've been busy all day between here and everywhere else, so I missed news. All right, thanks for that update. So when it hit the West Coast here, depending on where you are, I bet on some of the places that stick out a little bit farther here along California may have had some other damage and things like that. So we'll keep an ear out to see what's happening with that. So hopefully everybody is able to weather the storm and didn't hear the mini grass. That could be bad news, because normally those guys are out in their mobiles right in the water. So hopefully they backed off a little bit tonight. Thanks for the update. Direct and net roll call. That's where we're at. Page 1. Let's see if we can get through page 1. One more to call. SWL 25. And he's far enough away from the ocean, no problem there. Hello to the Super Loop is out there. Hello, Gregorio. I don't know what's going on in your neck of the woods. Maybe a little bit of snow. Says he's losing his wireless internet, but he's hanging in as long as he can. So I'll try not to move too fast. You know, sometimes when your internet connection isn't too good, it gets a bit choppy. So I'll try and sit still. It didn't behave. Page 2. Let's go over to SWL 27.
27's checking in live from Studio G with one burner glowing on Mr. Heater.
Hopefully it's the one that puts out a lot of heat.
It is.
All right, that's a good thing. Thanks for checking in. Yeah, we got a full hour of sun today before the fog rolled in yet again. SWL 28. Let me see if Gary's right there. You must have a good internet connection. He's always right when I look. He pops right in. Gary's saying hello to everyone on Pins and Needles waiting for an award-winning show. You may be on the wrong channel for the award-winning show, but we'll get the runner-up award for sure. And we will strike up the band. The band is here today, actually, as a matter of fact. The OTR Jingle Singers, Mr. Announcer, and a host of others. Thanks for checking in. We've got SWL 29, Mr. Loner checked in. And likewise, SWL 30, Dwayne, Mr. RFI, up in Idaho tonight, he's got the antennas pointed. He's got the verticals, the horizontals, the Browning, the Robin. Everything is up and ready in case we can get a little bit of that supposed E-skip coming in. And Superloop saying that the South Bay, my old stomping grounds out there in the bay between Malibu and Palos Verdes, says that was spared. San Clemente and Catalina Island blocked much of the surge. That's true. Again, if you stick way out like Crescent City, and Richard, 78, saying that he's on alert. He's in Everett, Washington, and he's keeping a watch out. He's at 963 feet, I guess, above sea level there. So I think it's going to depend on where you were at, and like Greg says, what's kind of in the way. if you've got a big piece of island chunk in the way, it might be a good thing. So we'll stay tuned for that. SWL 31, SWL 32, SWL 33, myself, and Bozo Control. I'm looking ahead here. We have added tonight, if you're listening, SWL 59, Uncle Hairball on the list. And who else? There was another one here. This was all pre-made for me, and I'm wondering when they... Oh, SWL 76, Raccoon Radio Ranch is also on. And when we get to page 4, I believe it's SWL 102. John out there in Scranton, Arkansas, will be calling you. So our new listings tonight. So 33 is in. Let's go to SWL 34. And SWL 34, that's Jimmy and Little Toot out there in Batavia, somewhere near Chicago. I'm looking for you on my list. And Jimmy's going to be checking in with us most weeks to let us know what is going on with items of interest around the Facebook site and everywhere else. And tonight, let's see if we can link up with Jim and find out what is happening over there on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Thanks, Dennis. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues of Vintage Tube CB radio equipment, my name is Jimmy Fiedler, SWL number 34. They call me Railroader. I live outside here of Chicago, Illinois, in a town called Batavia, Illinois. Thanks for having me. Well, you might all know me from being here or different groups I admin on Facebook. One in particular today I'd like to mention and talk about it's called the Old Tube CB Radio Network, which is run in conjunction with this show and also the Old Tube Radio Group, the OTR group. So everything's going fine. Right now we're about 2,100 members. Content is fabulous. Discussion is going fabulous. Things could be going well, and we're going to have an exciting 2022. And a big year, to say the least. Well, anyway, remember to like, comment, and share a post. That helps us tremendously with the Facebook algorithm and getting us publicized and picked up and, so people can see us. And, hey, when people see us, they want to join. And when they join, they can post some really cool stuff. Well, anyway, like I said, thank you very much for your patronage and support of the Old Tube CB Radio group on Facebook. And remember this, tubes glow, transistors blow. And on that note, they call me Railroader, your friend on this end on the west side of Chicagoland. I'm back off the key. Bump up, I'm 10-7.
All right, thanks, Jimmy. Thanks for that. Go out and check out the Facebook page. Jimmy's one of those people that I don't think he ever sleeps. He might be like a bird where he can stand on one leg and kind of put his head under his arm for a couple of minutes and be okay. Sounding good. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll look for you next week. And as always, thanks for helping us out. Get the word out that Real Radio is glow in the dark and that you should be having fun on your old tube radio, your new tube radio, your transistor radio, whatever it is. You should be out there having a good time on your two-way radio. That's why we are here, why we've been here for 36 years, to make sure that happens. Over to Mr. Bill, SWL 35, who is out listening from cowboy country, Cheyenne, Wyoming. Mr. Bill, we miss you and the Red Monkey group, but I know you're doing good out there. Keep up the good work, and thanks for stopping by and saying hello to the Central Valley gang out here. SWL 36, Jerry in Arizona. Out there in Arizona is out to listening tonight and saying hello, radio, and make sure to get 36 checked in. I will hope all the radio projects are going well. You've got a lot of them going on, but I always like to see what is happening with that. I know they take a lot of time, so like me, I'm hoping to have time to work on the Regency, Imperial, and some of the other radios that I would like to get on the air and display as well. Let's go over to back to Fresno, SWL 37.
SWL 37 here, Dennis, and that bird you was talking about is considered a flamingo. Long legs, long neck, weird-looking beak. They feed upside down, and they stick that head under the armpit when they sleep. Is a flamingo.
Yeah, that's a bird thing. I used to have a canary. Believe it or not, that was my handle back in high school because I had a canary in my room that would sing while I was on the air, and it did the same thing. I said, how can you possibly sleep standing up on one leg? But birds have a way of figuring that stuff out. I think when you only weigh a couple of ounces, maybe it's not so hard. You try that. It ain't going to work. Thanks for checking in.
I try to stand on one leg, but it don't do too good.
Yeah, indeed. All right. Direct to net roll calls where we're at. SWL 19, hi, Chet, checking in. It is, let's see, outside it's 5 degrees. Outside where you're at, yeah, and 7 degrees with wind chill. Wait a minute. Oh, -7. I didn't see the minus. Maybe you have a warm breeze. No, there's no warm breeze. Okay, stay inside. You were probably out rounding up the canaries. They need to be sleeping inside. Chet, you are out there in Derby, New York. It's a little cold. It's cold all over. Things are happening. Let me make sure you got the X in the square here tonight, as always. 37 is in, let's see, SWL 38. SWL 39. SWL 40. SWL 41, that would be Road Dog 507, and he's checking in, 200 National Sideband 507 from Hudson Valley of New York, where no doubt there is some wind chill factor going on. SWL 42, got a check-in for 42 in the group. Proxy check-in, SWL 43. In a proxy check-in for Crazy Eddie. Also, I think I heard 650 in a bit earlier. I know he had to go, so I'll get him checked in. SWL 44. Up to North Fork, SWL 45.
Okay, 45. You're sounding good.
Okay, and likewise, the band, it's a bit quiet right now. Not hearing anything, any skip coming in. Possible get some E-skip tonight. And if you are in the radio room, we have some space for you on the radio list tonight.
Great. Boy, the skip was bad this afternoon, but it's not bad now.
Not bad now. We will see what happens. Over to SWL 46. SWL 47.
Good evening from the Radio Lounge, SWL 47. I'm curious. I wonder just how cold it is up where SWL 45 is.
Hey, Paul, did you actually have sun out there today? I know we had a lot of fog down in the valley. Paul, 45, if you're listening, did the sun break out where you were today?
We were kind of overcast, like a night fog, but nothing serious.
Okay, so the clouds are a little bit higher, so no doubt it wasn't too warm. Might have been a little bit better. Sometimes down here we get that inversion. It's cold and damp, and I'll tell you what, it's not -7 degrees wind chill, but for us California people, it's pushing it a bit. You are sounding good, Mike. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you.
SWL 48. SWL 49. SWL 50.
50 checking in.
Checking in and sounding good. Radio is beaconing down the hill with no problem. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's Mr. Monkey's uncle. Let's try SWL 51 305. All dressed up and nowhere to go. SWL 52. And checked in earlier moments ago. SWL 53. want to say hello tonight to AJM Jazz, who is recovering in the radio room tonight. He's waiting on the snow in Nashville. I don't have the link. Jeremy, who's up in Tennessee, we're going to try and get linked up with him. I guess they got linked up last night on the Ditch Banks sideband net, which I was not able to attend. So I'll have to check to see if they actually had some snow out there tonight. Dallas, it says his dipole is pointed permanently the opposite direction for now. I was thinking it was northeast. Well, you know how dipoles are. You've got this way and that way, and if they're too low, they go all around that way, right? They become an NV, like my dipole. It's a good NVIS antenna. Page 3, SWL54. Mr. Boardjammer gets the virtual X in the square over to SWL55. SWL56.
Good evening, Dennis and the net. This is SWL 56. Just for kicks.
Well, you know, some of us out there could use a good kick now and then. More than whatever, but you're sounding good as always from the Gazebo Gardens. Beautiful Gazebo Gardens out there. Who's also joining us tonight? I think I saw Levon. Yeah, Levon is in there. Saying hello radio to the group. Let's try Brown Dog Audio, SWL 57. If the Echo link is up, if you need to check in that way, I'll get you in during the roll call. And the node of nodes tonight is... I wrote it down because it was new. I don't even know what it is. What is the node of nodes? 94810. Tony's up in the queue from South Carolina. Let's try SWL 58. I'll get Jeremy proxied in. I think, like I said, he made it on the Ditch Banks net through some type of a link. Like I said, we're going to try a link up here in just a little bit. And over to introducing Uncle Hairball, digital shortwave listener SWL 59. And he's waving a hand to all. In fact, he might be waving two hands. Maybe three hands, I don't know, to all the shortwave listeners, tube radio operators alike. 59, you are looking good on my list tonight. Thank you there, Uncle Hairball. And SWL 60, Joe.
Yes, sir. Doggone it. Did we select another 00?
Yes, we did. In fact, tonight, the 00, we got close. SWL 51, Dave, 305 out of Sanger, who I think he's been in the slot a couple of times before. So when Dave arrives, he's gonna say, oh. So thanks for your last 8 weeks of SWL. So it's kind of nice. You can kind of relax at the beginning now.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. Yeah, no problem. We appreciated it. Yeah, SWL 60, checking in.
All right, 60 is looking good, as is Central Kentucky. WWS 1942 Brown Dog Audio is also in the net tonight. Thanks for checking in. Let me get your number up and checked in on the screen. If you've just tuned in or wondering what this is, the old Tube Radio Network, a gathering of stations and people from all over interested in to talk about, check out the Tube radios, the radios from 1958 to 1978 for the Class D Citizen Band radio service. That's what we'll be listening for, talking about tonight. Right now we're checking in with our listening stations round everywhere, I guess. Remember, you don't have to have a tube radio. You don't even have to. It's not a club. There's no secret handshake. No special thing to do. Just show up and have a good time. Let's try SWL 61. Hello, Dino. All right, Copenhagen is doing a couple of jumping jacks and running around the rig, and he's staying warm, and we got you checked in.
Thank you, Dennis.
Sounding good in Midtown Fresno tonight. SWL 40 up from the basement. You got the lantern lit. Made it up the creaky wooden stairs to the radio room. Connected the antenna, and hello, radio. We've 785. We've got you checked in. Over to SWL 62. Let me check the number. The infamous King Duckford here on the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. I'm not sure where he's at. He might be talking to the masses. North Dakota. I have to get a weather report. I think North Dakota is having warmer weather than Atlanta, Georgia these days. SWL 63. SWL 64. Shortwave listener 65. SWL 66. SWL 67. Bill out there in Canby, or I should say up there in Canby, Oregon tonight, who, I don't know if he's listening in tonight or not. He may have said that he was going to be out doing something. I did remember to leave the keys where they were supposed to go. Let me get Bill checked in. And let's see, not checking in tonight, and not checking in again. He's been not checking in for quite a long time. Mr. Cornbread. What we have here is a failure to communicate. That is Strother Martin. And actually what he says, because I've learned, it's like, what we have here is failure to communicate. That's the way he says it. It's not like is a. He says, listen to the clip. What we have here is failure to communicate. Mr. Strother Martin. One of the infamous lines, like, I think we need a bigger boat. And some of the other ones. New York 157, Michael SWL 68, checking in and beaconing from the Bronx. I like that. A little bit of alliteration for your old tube radio enjoyment. Thank you for checking in tonight. Over to SWL 69, Kenny in Tulsa. What's going on in Tulsa? Tulsa's kind of in the middle of all this. So I don't know if they're getting blasted or it's gone over the top of them or what. If you're listening, Kenny, watching the replay, hello from your stomping grounds here in Central California. Glad to have you aboard. Thanks for checking in. Over to SWL 70. Mark and Morgan Canyon should be around. SWL 71. I've neglected to refresh my comments page to get the latest from updates. And there is Mr. Announcer right there, checking in Dallas, Georgia. Thank you. Thank you, Stan. Looking good on the list tonight. Over to SWL 72. SWL 73. SWL 74. Get Miss Jilly proxied in. SWL 75. And a new 2-hour list from the Raccoon Radio Ranch. Indeed, the Raccoon Radio Ranch at 76 with an X in the square. I've had some raccoons, not in the radio room, but out in the patio, doing that thing where they have to wash each little piece of cat food as they devoured it out of the dish. That's what raccoons do, don't you know? Let's go over. Let's see if the mobile has got the heater running. SWL 77.
And, yeah, we got the heater running.
77 on the 7300 in the mobile. Waving a great big hand to all the listeners. 73s to everyone. And 77 checking in.
Checking in and sounding good doing it. Just a note for those watching the S-meter, the kind of washed-out S-meter, I'm working on getting a more accurate representation of what's incoming. It could take a little bit to get that to work out right. So if you're watching the replay and you notice your S0 on the incoming, don't worry, because you are definitely much stronger than that. It's sort of a placeholder for the hole that would be there had I not inserted something that looks like an S-meter. 1017 sounding good. Thanks for joining the net tonight out of the mobile radio.
Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure.
SWL 78, Richard out in the remote location. Sounding good. I've been neglecting to go down on the 40 meter frequency and see how you're sounding on the remote, assuming it's up and running. But your remote check-in tonight, looking and sounding pretty good. And speaking of remotes, let me see. I've got 2 stations up on Echolink, and I want to get everybody checked in before we go to our other satellite hop here, because I need that audio input for the Echolink. I got to switch over inputs to the satellite. It's let me see if James, if you're listening, there is a delay, a bit of a delay between if you're listening on the internet or where you're listening or oldtuberadio.net. To see how things work on Echolink, and I'm not even sure if I've got stuff set up correctly, but let me see if we can get a hold of James. I'll be right back here. K4KKP. Here is Kilowatt Bravo 6, Germany, France, Denmark, KB6GFD, net control. Take a transmission if you can hear me on the Echolink. Over. See if James is listening in the 4-call area here tonight on Echolink. Okay, still a bit of delay, so we'll check it out here. Let's go to SWL 79.
79, check it out.
All right, you were hiding. You were hiding in the bushes, but there you are, sounding good. And over to SWL 80. And I'm going to turn the page, but before I do, as always, over we go. Ohio, Bob and Steve, who take care of us and all of you on the Old Tube Radio Network by making sure that the studio facilities here are top-notch. So when you check in, you will have a very good check-in experience. So we're glad of that.
27.085 OTR Channel 11.
And Whoopi, what is going on tonight on the Bob and Steve Show? Episode number 98 here on the 15th of January, 2022. The Jingle Singers went to Costco, as they often do. I think they've got their own parking space out there to get a new popcorn machine. You know, we have lots of popcorn, whether it's up in the balcony from the Squamish Boys or down at the popcorn machine. I didn't notice. I haven't been in there to notice what kind of popcorn machine is going on. So what happened to the old one? Anyway, just for the balcony. Oh, okay. So no matter where you go, there will be popcorn. I know, because I've got one of those little roller goodies to clean up all the little popcorn shards that fall off, but that's okay. It's bigger. It's better than the old one. It has an automatic bagger and auto butter. Is an auto bagger better with auto butter? Who knows? Say that fast 3 times. Please don't throw popcorn at Dennis during the net. Well, if you do, make sure it hasn't touched the ground first. Maybe I can catch it and have a little treat. Security will be called, such that security is... what else? They just found out that the Jingle Singers were the first group to sing the song, "We'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony." I think they were checking their harmony when they tried that, but it's good to have a first with the Jingle Singers. They later, Coca-Cola kind of stole that, and they did their big commercial with that song. But, the Jingle Singers would never kind of stoop to promoting. They would only promote the old Tube Radio Network, not Coca-Cola, so we know we're okay on that. The Wednesday night poker tables were packed again. I noticed there was parking. I had to park around the corner and walk into the house. It says they may need to put in glass ceilings like Vegas to keep an eye on things. Well, was there some trickery going on? Do we have card counters out there? I don't know. As long as they're having fun and nobody steals that little ball that goes in the that table. We don't have that yet. We just have poker. I know that number 7 is a poker dude, so we do let him in. But if you see Mr. Ed at the poker table, beware. He knows how to do it. At the bar tonight in the green room from North Myrtle Beach Bay, for the North Myrtle Beach Bay Watch Cafe, 2701 South Ocean Beach Boulevard, or South Ocean Boulevard if you're keeping track. All kinds of seafood. So if you're seafood, you will like the bar tonight. Enjoy, and of course, with seafood, don't forget to feed the fish. They rely on you for sure.
27.085 OTR Channel 11.
Thank you, Bob and Steve. Back in a moment. The old Tube Radio Network, real radios glowing in the dark. Tonight, of course, we'll have radio check-ins. We're going to try and we've got some time on the OTR satellite uplink. Going to try and do a maybe first ever communications from a tram here in Central California out to the California coast. They're having some weather issues and things like that, so if it doesn't work, we will try again. But we've got some time up on the satellite, so we'll see what happens. And I'm pretty sure the Costco card was somewhat involved with that. Page 4, SWL 81, Mr. Unicorn. Hello, Steve. If you're watching and listening somewhere, you know where you are in the secret radio room. Thanks for joining us tonight. Let's go to the Ditch Banks and see if Bones is at the radio tonight. SWL 82.
82, check it in. Good evening, and thanks for doing the net tonight.
Hey, it is my pleasure. And I did hear rumors. Sorry, I didn't make the Wednesday night net. I didn't make the Friday night net. It's been a busy week, but I heard that it went quite well and that there was a check-in from Tennessee. Did he, Jeremy, mention anything about snow?
No, he did not. But I think a couple weeks before it snowed. He said one day it was 74, and next day it was snowing. And they also had a tornado warning thrown in the mix of it all, too.
Wow, okay. Well, it may be longer than we think for that high tower to get installed. Anyway, the Ditch Banks sideband net, you'll hear that gentleman's voice in the net control air chair on Friday evenings, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 27365 lower sideband. All are welcome. Give it a shot. If you're not local, tune it in anyway, because there are some good signals here in the valley that could beacon into that E-layer skip and join us on that. Thanks for checking in.
All right, thanks, Dennis.
Over to SWL 83. Shortwave listener 84, Mr. Cheerios Kid. He was on the Swan today. He was on the Swan Radio doing the noontime net and sounding really good. Let me illuminate the... Did it make it? Yeah. Illuminate the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223. I think that's Mountain Maid's radio. Maybe the Robin, probably from the Mountain Maid collection. It's got Jerry checked in. And We'll also get 86, 87, and 88 mountain-made Tandy Girl and the Snowy Owl here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Over to SWL 89. Going to get a proxy in for Darren. Not sure what he's up to, but probably out working on the bicycle. Over to SWL 90. Proxy check-in for 90. Then we go to up to where it is late and cold. SWL 91, but it's never cold in the 91 radio room. Felix always has everything up and running and in tip-top shape. Thank you, Felix, for always getting us started off on the video. We're looking good tonight. Next, we are looking for SWL 92. SWL 93. Shortwave listener 95. Over to Kermantown, SWL 96. And I'm sorry, my internet is slow. Let me get 95 checked in. From Orlando, Florida, where, I don't know, weather's always pretty decent in Orlando. Not sure if I was hearing the Florida stations coming through. There's a net on 17 meters in the late morning that does propagation, and they kind of hop around from different frequencies. Probably should listen to that. I probably hear stations from all over. Thank you, 95 got you checked in on the Old Tube Radio Network. SWL 97, of course. Boston 97 looking good on the list tonight and checking in. Thank you, Jim, for that. Up in Boulder Creek, Colorado, or Boulder Creek, California. There's probably a Boulder Creek, Colorado, but Boulder Creek, California. Pretty cool place. What is that, off a highway? Is it 9? Up there around 9 or 17? Looking pretty good. Hope things are happening up there tonight. Thanks for stopping by and saying hello, Bolt 194. SWL 98, Tracy, I don't know if you can hear me on the AM, but I'm checking you in right now. Tracy sounds good. Does a good job on the sideband from his location when he doesn't have a lot of static, but his transmit is okay. I know how it is to have static on the receive. Okay, looks like the Echo link is back open, so we'll be checking in with Tony in just a minute, but let's try SWL 99.
Breaker.
And the breaking station, go ahead.
Dennis, is that Tent Maker's number?
That is Tent Maker's number over.
Oh, get a proxy for him. He's been feeling a little bit under the weather.
Okay, I will do that. Got an X in the square. Thanks for that. Oh, yeah, 9 and 236. Okay, I think 236 is the one I remember, because that's when you cut in to go to the campground up there. I've been there a couple times. Pretty cool. So it's been a while. It's been a while since I've had a chance to go up there and have fun. And yeah, there are. You talk about raccoons. Don't leave the Jiffy Pop out when you're at the Boulder Creek campground, because the raccoons will definitely find it for sure. Let's try the Echo link for Tony, KD4BAO from KB6GFD. All right, looking for Tony out of South Carolina on the Echo link. Take me turn the volume up. Hi, Tony. Take another transmission. I think I had the volume down. I want to make sure the Echo link is working again, but I saw you in there. Take another transmission over.
Okay, Dennis. Good evening. This is SWL 100, 24BAO.
All right, got you in. Sounding good. Audio was a bit low on my end, but I pumped it up. Sounding good, Tony. In South Carolina, where we're hoping not to get too much inclement weather. Thanks for joining us on the Echo Link link. And I just got the just got the email that the other satellite link is going to be up and running, so I'll probably switch over to that in just a little bit, because I need the audio controls for that. So KB6GFD 100 is in. Let's go up to Scranton, Arkansas, SWL 102 for 102 himself. John, thanks for joining us here on the old Tube Radio Network. And we're getting the three-hand applause. It's looking good, sounding good, and it looks good. Looking good on page 4 for sure. Over to SWL 103. SWL 109. Shortwave listener 110. SWL 111. I didn't get it. Robert Proxy didn't. I didn't get an update. I think he's probably gone through his surgery. So I hope all that is going well. Look for an update on that. SWL 113. Shortwave listener 114.
114 checking in.
114 sounding good. Wayne, that key up, you probably know it has a bit of a metallic ring to it. It's not a ping. It's more like a clank. It's like you're toasting the new year with a champagne glass or something. Sounds pretty cool. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you for the check-in.
Yeah, it's got a little clink. Little clink going on there. Let's go over to SWL 128. That's John in Fairfax, Virginia, where he says snow, ice, and freezing rain coming in tomorrow to the mid-Atlantic area. You've got to be careful on that jet stream. I think it was snowing in Lawrence, Kansas today, so it is definitely headed that way. All right, well, stay warm and stay safe, and thanks for jumping in tonight. Over to SWL 131. Shortwave listener 133. SWL 135. Getting a check-in for Mr. Green Arrow. SWL 137. And let's go up to Course Gold. If you can hear me, Tony, SWL 145.
Oh, yeah, we hear you loud and clear tonight, Dennis. Sounding good. 145 checking in.
And likewise, sounding good. I was all set up to do the net Friday, and then something happened, and by the time I got back to the Echo Link radio, I had messed up, and it was too late. Do you remember one of any one of the questions, the Friday morning questions? You remember any one of those? I'd be curious to hear one.
One of the Friday morning what? Please repeat.
One of the Friday morning questions. I just remember I missed both of them, but if you remember one, I'd like to hear it.
I can't think of one right now. Sorry about that.
Okay, I didn't know if you remembered from if you did one on Friday or not. All right, sounding good. We've got you checked in, as always, from Course Gold. So, Tony, looking good. Let's go to SWL 147. Neil there in Kakalaki checking in. He's hearing a lot of the West Coast in his radio during the day at times, but he's unable to get contacts. Well, they're just not listening. You know those West Coast alligator stations, you know how they can be. He says, need more fire in the wire. Well, I'm in that same boat. I think 4799 calls it mud ducking. Anywhere, freezing rain on the way tomorrow, as it is in a lot of places in that area. 73 from 887 in North Carolina. Thank you from Kakalaki.
Hey, Dennis.
This is the Basic Dennis. Over.
I'm not going to make it for radio check-in, so pretend this is the Golden Beagle checking in later. It is the Golden Beagle, R68T68. The other radio, when I checked in my number and the others, that was the Mark III off the shelf, in case somebody else was listening, so they know it still works. Okay, I got to go. Catch you next time.
All right, yeah, definitely get some extra sleep, get in the horizontal position there, and do what you need to do, and we'll get you, we'll get the stations on the list. The pair of Brownings. All right. The radio's sounding good, you not so, but next week it'll be better. Thanks for joining us.
You may have to proxy me in next week. I might be working. If I feel better. Okay, just in case. We'll see ya. Bye.
All right, 73 to you. O2 Radio Network, we're in the directed net roll call. I want to take one more, see if I can get one more Echo link up here tonight before we drop that link and head over to the satellite dish while we have time up to see if we can't link up the radios. I'm not sure if that'll work, but in the meantime, let me see if Richard is listening. KA6JMM from KB6GFD. Let me see if we can get Richard up there in Washington tonight to give us a report on what's happening with all those things wacky up there in Everett. All right, maybe having some internet connections. Let's go. Oh, no, there he is. But no audio. All right, well, we'll check back a little bit later. Let's try SWL 188. Thanks for standing by, Bobby.
Good evening time, Dennis. Good evening time to all SWLs. 188 Snowbees checking in.
All right, 188, sounding good here from Midtown. We were talking Skip earlier. How has the Skip been last couple of days?
It's actually been great. I was talking a lot of the East Coast this morning, and then it turned, and we got some of the islands in for a little bit. I heard Alaska, but I didn't make a contact. And then the day before, we did same thing, a bunch of East Coast and a bunch of Northern, and then even pulled in 4 Australia stations.
All right, the logbook is filled and sounding good. Good job, and thanks for checking in.
10-4, evening time call.
Okay, let me give one more shout out to Richard up there in Washington and see what conditions are like on the Echo link before we end the net. We've got a couple more check-ins, and we'll do that. Hello, Richard. Are you within the sound of my voice? KB6GFD, over. All right, still seems we might be having some internet connection issues up there, so hopefully all is well. Where we never have an interconnect problem, it's just it takes a long time for my signal to get up the hill to Course Gold. Over to SWL 195. In fact, it's taking an incredibly long time tonight, I think. And then over to SWL 226, that's Mr. Three-Wheeler. And breaking station, go ahead.
195 checking in down low.
Hey, all right, I hear you now. Am I making it up the hill? Over.
Oh, yeah, nice and clear.
All right, good deal. And likewise, I hear you now on my radio. Hopefully you'll get some sun breaking out of the clouds tomorrow.
I hope so. Okay, thank you, Dennis.
All right, thanks for checking in. And let me see if we have any other stations that would like to check in or make a comment before we try the uplink here.
You know, I had 650 asked me to check them in for him. I don't know if this is the right time or I should wait till later.
Now is a good time. 650. I sort of had him penciled in, and so this will make it official. Thanks.
Yeah, okay.
And you are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. Real Radio's Glowing in the Dark will be up here next. But before I switch gears, I am going to see if I can't bring up the satellite link. I know we have some time booked, and it's just a window, and then it goes on to somebody else to see if I can get a hold of 23 Skidoo, who is somewhere pointing the dish, the satellite dish, and maneuvering, and I'm not sure, he said he was going to try a tram, so I'm not sure what tram radio he's got, but this is the Old Tube Radio Network. Come in, 23 Skidoo, over. And sometimes these things work, and sometimes they don't. Let's see if we got anybody.
3 Skidoo here, beaconing in via the Big Bird in the Sky from Santa Cruz, California, here on the coast, about 120 miles from the Fresno area. So kind of interesting to make this link up over the satellite tonight. You are correct. This is the legendary tram D201. This is the first edition hand-wired radio, and tonight's microphone of choice is the Turner Super Sidekick. And so I'll take a pause here and see if we can get the link working on the other end as well. Over.
All right, very good. I hear you. I hope you can hear me. I'm not sure how much of a delay there is. I know when we work in the TV station, sometimes you'd have 3 or 4 seconds. So I'm pausing just a bit so that I catch everything and I catch you. But that was a great transmission. Let's reiterate. We are here at OTR and in the Central Valley, and who's ever listening, we are listening to your the output. It's coming through the satellite receiver, but it's the output of your tram D201 earlier version, I do believe. The audio is quite nice. The microphone is doing a good job, so I'll keep this transmission short, and we'll go back to you, see if you're copying me. What I'd like to do is maybe try the first ever link to link. I have asked SWL7, Mr. Ed. He's also got a tram radio, and we'll check with him in a minute. See if we can't link the tram from Fresno to the tram over where you are. Back to you from net control. Over.
Well, very good, Dennis. That would be great to give it a try. Probably a historic first. The first time 2 trams have ever connected over a satellite link, as far as I know. So pretty appropriate for the 21st century and for OTR, where these old tube radios are adapting to the modern ways 50 years into the running. Over.
All right, so far, so good. Just a couple of technical items, just so I know how it's working. Are you actually on Channel 11? Obviously, you have 23 channels. So I don't know which channel the link up is on. That would be pretty cool if we actually heard you ground wave, satellite wave at the same time. But just a quick check that you're on channel 11 on the tram. Over.
Yes, I am on channel 11 on the tram. Certainly ground wave over that kind of a distance is not something that I think you'd be able to hear. But if people want to tune or listen in, maybe they can hear me if they listen real carefully. But since we're beaconing from the rooftop up into the sky, it might not be quite as effective. Over.
All right, thanks for that. I hope that I guess the weather condition was more of an ocean tidal, like a tidal wave, and that's not the correct thing going on, so that maybe it doesn't affect the pointing of the dish. While I have it here, I'm going to ask if Ed, SWL7, are you monitoring?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, are you on the tram? Maybe we can try the link up from tram to tram here.
Yes, I am on the tram as we speak.
All right, go ahead and call. It's Mitch, SWL23. Give him a call. I'll work the link on this end, and we'll see if we can get a bounce back from the D201. Over to you, Ed.
Okay. Well, hopefully the tram-to-tram situation will work. To the 23 Skidoo station from SWL number 7 here in Fresno, transmitting on the tram TR27E. Hopefully everything is working.
Well, it certainly is working. Good evening, SWL7. Good to hear you in there, Ed, and your tram TR27E, the mean green machine, is doing quite a good job over here on the coast. So it's great to hook up tram to tram over the satellite link. Back to you.
Oh, wow. The satellite link seems to be working pretty good. Well, tram to tram on a satellite. Now, that's definitely something new.
Okay, let's see, we dropped the link here. Nope, we got it.
Well, that's for sure. It is definitely something new. So these old dogs can learn a few new tricks, both the operator and the radio. And so it's great to be able to make that connection to you. And hopefully the SWLs in Fresno are enjoying hearing this signal and two-way conversation over the local airwaves. Over.
Good deal. Well, that was definitely something else. Thank you very much for that satellite link up and being able to go tram to tram on OTR. That's definitely very cool.
Okay there, Ed. Thanks for the contact. 73 to you. And we'll turn it back to net control in case we want to talk a little bit more about the tram D201, since we rarely get an opportunity to hear D201s on OTR, and certainly the hand-wired with the Vox is a good candidate for a little demonstration. Over.
All right, thanks, Ed. That worked out great, better than I expected. You know how it is around here. I always expect something to blow up, but you did great. My stuff is... I don't have to do anything. I'm just kind of in the middle of the link here. So all the trams, Mitch and Ed are doing all the pushing and pulling on that. So while I have the link, and... okay, I'm just checking. Chet said they got us another couple minutes because we were supposed to be off at 20 after the hour, so they looks like they were able to get us another 3 or 4 minutes here. Perfect. So yeah, let's grab it since we paid for the time. And if you can still hear me, Mitch, the D201. This is the early model. From what I understand, that is, if you look inside, it is the hand-wired version. Is that the deal? Over.
Dennis, in fact, that is the deal. About that, need box control up here a little bit. about that. I have to get the Vox set, and it's a little finicky on this kind of a radio, but yes, indeed, this is the M-Wire D201 with the Vox sensitivity and Vox delay controls. The front panel, you probably will not hear very many of them where the Vox is in good operating condition today. Are very tricky to adjust. After a lot of twiddling and fiddling, I finally got this one sorted well enough to be able to do a demonstration. There you have it, kind of a first D201 Vox transmission, the old tube radio network. Back to you.
All right, this is OTR Control Fresno, linking up with Mitch on the Vox. Yeah, I hear it voxing. Vox on AM is a bit tricky. I used to try it with my FT101 on OTR, and what happens is when the carrier drops out, a lot of stations jump in. So it's hard if you don't have a nice delay. Works great on sideband. My guess is that's probably why it was in there for the sideband, but it works on Vox. It works on AM as well. Well, good deal. We rarely get a demonstration of Vox on any old tube radio because, as we know, that may be one of the only one. I think there was another one that had it. Good deal. While I've got one more minute or so, take another transmission. Hopefully, we'll be able to do this again. I appreciate you staying outside or whatever you have to do to get the link going. But let's hear the tram one more time. Great audio. And I guess I could ask you how long you've had that, or is that a family heirloom, or is it something that you just had to have for the collection? Back to you, over.
Well, I wish I could say that it was a family heirloom, but I would have had to have been a very fortunate teenager indeed to afford one of these back in 1979, before my driving days and the era of starter base stations. A boy could only dream of this radio. In fact, I saw it in CB magazine for the first time in the summer of 1975, and it caught my attention. It was one of those dreamy Cadillac radios that you never thought would come onto the market, and it was shocking to see a radio with all those features built into it, the Vox, the VFO tuning, transmit tone control, receiver tone control. It was just sort of the ultimate in CB radios. And so all these years later, of course, when I'm not such a young boy anymore, I can afford some toys. And so I picked this one up not too long ago. Locally, for example, I should say, here in the Santa Cruz Mountains area. And it was in working condition, beautiful cosmetic condition. And so I've gone through the process of electrically restoring it. Good work done by the legendary tram restorer Matt B in Florida. So this is a Matt B tram D201 working perfectly after all these years. And I do use it not just for occasions like this. I actually use it on a regular basis on local frequencies and in particular on sideband. So with that, I'll take a pause and turn it over back to you to wrap it up.
All right, I think we still have it. I am looking at Chet. He's pointing to his watch. Okay, what, we have less than a minute? 30 seconds. All right, we'll try and wrap it up here. Perfect stuff. All right, this worked way better than I thought. I'm even choking him over it. Thanks, Ed, for your help. Thanks, Mitch, for the tram. It sounds really good. I hope you can watch. This is all on the video or the audio, so you'll be able to listen to the replay. If I was good, I would have had a picture. I wasn't able to grab the picture that I wanted, but I think you had sent me a picture of the radio early on. So if we're able to do this again and get the link up, I will also show the picture of the radio, because, of course, we have a Matt B peaked and tweaked D201. It is a good thing, especially with that nice wood case. Back when you needed to make the radio a piece of furniture. All right, I'm getting the 15-second countdown, so you get our final bye-bye, Mitch, back to you, I guess in 25 words or less on the old tube radio network, groundbreaking tram-to-tram transmission. Over to you from the old tube radio network.
Well, thanks, Dennis, very much for paying the bill for the satellite. We do appreciate that and hope that you'll be able to turn on the satellite again in the future for another tram-to-tram connection over the airwaves. We do appreciate it, and just want to say 73 to all the SWLs, and thanks to SWL 7 for the historic moment. 23 Skidoo, we're out of here.
37.
Okay, it looks like our time is up or going away. Very good. We'll log that in. Sounding good. I will find a picture. I might even put that on. If I can find the picture of the tram, I might post it up on the net this week. So, okay, the link is down. That's nice. No fading, no static. That's one nice thing. I just wonder if we'll be able to do that at other locations as well. I'm not sure. I'll have to talk to Mitch about what you have to do to link up from the end. We will do more on that. Sounding good. The Old Tube Radio Network. Chris, I hear you. I'm going to pull out the radio list. I need about 1 minute to undo my audio board from the link, and then we'll be right back with you. You will be radio number 1. I bet Paul is out there for radio. I've got to find a list, and we will be back in a moment on the Old Tube Radio Network. Okay, I am back. Am I... Let me make sure I don't have anything wrong in the audio board. Local stations, are you hearing me?
Oh, yeah, hear you fine.
Okay. I'm just... People on the camera can see me looking to adjust some controls. In fact, I need to bring up some stuff to check my audio. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's my audio out. Sorry about the technical stuff. It's just that I want to make sure... When you pay for this stuff, you've got to have your levels real good, or they get mad at you. So I wanted to make sure that I was set for that. Yeah, Chris, step up in the air chair, but don't take a transmission just yet. And who else would like to check into the Old Tube Radio Network? We'll get you on the list.
Number 7.
All right. Hello, Paul. You will be radio number 2. We will catch you in a moment. And Ed, you will be radio number 3. And no doubt we get that tram checked in officially, even though it's checked in on the coast. Mr. Chris, at 9:28, take a transmission over.
Okay. Anyway, Dennis, I would like to check in my general radio telephone, my Super MC11A 24-channel version. I was here with the old man in the wheelchair and the IV pack sitting up next to him there. And this is with the handheld stock microphone to come with the radio. Over.
Good deal. Looking for the radio. And we have found it. Let me get rid of that S meter. Go to that. The loud and proud general radio telephone. I don't know. Would you be open to, if we could ever get a general radio telephone up on the link to do general to general?
Oh, yeah. I've done it with Cliff before, I think.
Okay, yeah, that's here locally. I'm just thinking if we can get one up on the link or something, we'll try it that way. I guess it doesn't matter. As long as you have a tube radio, we can get you patched in. And that would be a good one because it has very nice audio. I'd like to kind of display our best and brightest when we go linking like that. The Super MC11A, there is a picture up at oldtuberadio.net. There's a shot over on the video side. This is from Cliff's collection. They are a pretty radio, and they sound mighty awesome. Take a transmission.
Okay, well, this thing here, I'm looking at it on PEP meter right here. This keys up about 5.5 S units, and it's swinging up to about 21, right in there, maybe 22. It's doing what it's supposed to be doing over.
Oh, yeah, and if you run the numbers, if you're at 4 or 5 watts of unmodulated audio and you can get a PEP of 19 or 20, you're definitely at 100% modulation. And I'm thinking if we put the REA meter on that, you would be up at probably at 125 with some very nice looking negative peaks, as well as it always sounds loud with no distortion at all. Take another transmission over.
Well, thank you, Des. I've listened to it on the net there on YouTube before. Even on my phone, it pops up periodically. Shows you all the way back to 2016 on my phone. And, it was working even back then, so I'm not complaining. So it's doing what it's supposed to. So, Dennis, I want to thank you for your time. It is movie night. I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to watch a movie, but I had to wait around and check in my general.
All right, thanks for hanging out with us, standing by, letting us, the Old Tube Radio Network, we'd like to occasionally say that we were the first, to do the tram-to-tram link-up, and we were the first to check in the most general radio telephones, thanks to you. The 11A is sounding good. Thanks for getting us started off.
You betcha, Dennis. Thank you for being there, and Paul, you've got some good generals up there, too. So, and Ed, I don't know what all you got, but you got a lot of everything. So, anyway, we're out, and thank you, Dennis, and you guys have a wonderful evening. I will still have it on, but I will be in the other room, so have a great evening.
All right, very good. Thanks for jumping in. The Old Tube Radio Network, we are here in Fresno, California, covering the Central Valley of California on 27085. That's the frequency that we're listening to right now. These are all local stations and that stop by, take time out of their Saturday evenings to share their collection with us. Our receiver is patched into the Universal Media Netweb at oldtuberadio.net, also doing the video thing so that you can hear the radios and hear what we do. We've been doing this since 1985, every Saturday. Get on the air night, have fun the way you might remember it if you had these old tube radios when they were brand new. A way that CB can be. I don't know how it is in your local area. Get on the air night. It doesn't have to be tube radios is a great thing. And to promote the hobby. I know the FCC says it isn't a hobby, but promote the use and distribute information about old tube radios. And also, if you're thinking about getting your amateur radio license, to encourage you to keep studying, take the tests. I know the tests may be few and far between due to COVID restrictions, but Cycle 25 is starting up. As you can hear, a lot of stations saying the conditions are getting really good. And you know what happens. Who's coming up next? Paul, step up in the air chair. I'm going on with a monologue here, but I do want to say to a lot of stations, you know what happens on 11 meters when the cycle gets really good. It's 20 dB over S9 everywhere you go, and it's hard to make a contact. But if you got your amateur radio license, you can slip out somewhere to 10 meters or 40 meters or 15 meters and get out in the wide open spaces with your 100 watts in a wire, or maybe your 5 watts QRP and the vertical that you built yourself, and have a transmission that way. You will have fun, I guarantee it. And we will look for you there. So thanks for joining us. Here's a guy that also has his amateur radio license. He's got a great collection. He's probably got the biggest collection here in the Central Valley, if not on the West Coast, of a lot of radios. And we are really, really lucky to have him within our airwaves to share them with us. Hello, Paul. Over.
Yeah. I want to check in my Robin 240D.
It has been a while since we have had the Yellow Bird, the 240D. A lot of the 123s, which are good. Let me go to the Robin Rolodex, also called the Executive. Got a shot of it here. There it is. We'll go a little bit closer. And I have one behind me. Behind my shoulder, I believe it is Mount Mate's radio. I would turn that one on, but I have the power cord disconnected because I hadn't really checked it out to make sure I should fire it up. So in lieu of that, we will listen to yours. Take a transmission, Paul.
Okay. It's been a long time since I checked this thing in, so having to tune it. Quite a few things in this radio. In Sam's 187, if you want to look it up, manufacture date is 1978. Manufactured by Panasonic in Japan. The outside of this radio is much like the Robin 123B, but boy, you go on the inside, you're going to find some different things. Back to you.
Definitely going to find Some nice stuff. The modified Panasonic chassis to get all 40 channels. Boy, if that's a 1978 manufacturer, I'm going to say that might be one of the last ones. I'm not sure how long they made those. They started in 1976 when 40-channel radios were okay to jump out and get FCC type accepted. But I'm not sure how long after that they were around. As you know, a beautiful radio. They really did a good job with the knob insert colors and the yellow, and they did a really good job on the inside to make it sound good on my end. Take another transmission.
Okay. Well, to give you a hint on the thing, got a digital readout for the channel selector. So, tells you one thing. It's a hybrid. It's got 9 tubes in the thing and a bunch of different things inside besides rolling. So, as I've had quite a bit of trouble doing this thing. It's been a while, and a couple of years since I've had it running. But it's finally going. I had to run a preamp on the thing to get it so I could hear you. I don't know what's going on with that. But since that, right now it's working. I've got a range expand on this thing. I've turned it off right now, and I'll turn it back on. I don't know which one sounds the best. Back to you.
I can hear you both ways. The range boost on gives it a little bit more depth in the low frequencies and just a little bit more audio. I don't hear any distortion. I've changed our shot to show the digital channel selector. This one's up on channel 40. Of course, we're on channel 11. The device that Paul was talking about right in the front of the shot there, it's the range expand, the rocker switch below the S meter that engages some audio amplification, probably somewhere on that 12AX7 tube, which they have. From Japan, the Panasonic Corporation, creating that radio, doing good. Give us another transmission, Paul. Thanks for bringing it by. Always enjoy your collection, and I never know what area of the Radio Shack you're going to go into. I think you have it alphabetically. So we are in the R's tonight, at least for this transmission. The Robin sounds good. Over to you.
Okay. Well, I found that so far I'm running Turner key number 3 on the thing. It seems to be one that run the best on it, so I'm going to stay with it. And modulation is good on the thing. So anyway, well, that's it. We'll let you get back to somebody else. Thanks for checking it in.
Thanks for bringing it by. Everybody likes the Robin. I know Christy is partial to the T123 B with the green knobs, but Chrissy, notice that blinking RX light. So when he's in receive mode, you've got a nice green light to go along with the yellow and the backlit green S meter. Radio number 2, the Robin T240D, the executive, out and about probably late 1976 when they got their act together, and according to the 23 Skidoo archives, probably still available brand new into 1979, and I'm sure you could find it in some shops if they hadn't been all bought by that time, sitting on the shelf in a box in 1980. So a good deal. Thanks for stopping by. We are heading up into the air chair right now is SWL7. Heading over to the Jingle Singers. They haven't been getting it easy tonight, but you know what? It's all that popcorn. So I told them, stop eating popcorn for the next 5 minutes because you are going to need to get up to the microphone and do your thing. We're back in 20 seconds with another radio.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. For music and the latest news from home and from afar, the station for you is
OTR, Old Tube Radio.
The station for you is
OTR.
And hello, 7, if you're at the microphone, I see you in the air chair. Go ahead and pick up that thing and give it a squeeze.
No problem. Picking up the Electro Voice microphone and keying up the Tram TR27E once again. That was kind of cool doing the satellite link up. I wonder if tube radios have ever gone satellite before.
It's hard to say. Tram to tram. We've got to talk to, is it Winnisquam? I can't remember where the trams do their thing. But we might should have got a picture of that and send it in to whoever's doing the trams these days. I found a shot of the TR-27E. Let me put it up, and this is the radio that you heard earlier, that those of you listening heard earlier, that was on the our side of the satellite. This would be 1963, going to the tram D201 that was probably about 8 or 9 years after that. Well, maybe a little bit more fancy, but I'm going to say just as capable on the transmit side. Take another transmission, and maybe I can get an S meter. Maybe I get a signal report on that great S meter. Back to you.
Yes, it is a large S meter. That's for sure. Nice big green radio, 5x7 speaker. And the S meter is about 3 inches tall and 3.5 inches wide. So you don't need glasses to see it. And yes, on this one, you definitely go into the green, but you're only about 20, and I've never seen anyone actually ever hit the 60. It's kind of stingy on the needle.
Well, it is all relative, but I know, and you know, we used to have, people would come on, and if they couldn't make a certain number, they would tear their Radio Shack apart and add this and that, and realize, it's a relative thing. Just because it doesn't show 40 doesn't mean that we can't hear you or your radio is no good. So I will take a 20 any day. I would take an S7. As long as your noise level wasn't S6. Sounding good. I forgot. I get to check in. I'm also going to add the 23 Skidoo radio, the Tram D201. That would be an official check-in of an early tram. Plus, I've got Harvey's radio, so we're going to be doing good tonight. Another transmission from you. Looks like it's doing good. And I will ask. We talked to the operators that run the Robins, and they always, I won't say complain, but they mentioned that the T123s run super hot. Like, I can't touch the top of the case hot. So I'm wondering, on the tram, this is a big radio. It's got a lot of tubes, but it's got some airspace. How warm does that thing run when you've got it fired up?
Yeah, well, it is a tube radio, so it is definitely a little warm. But yeah, no, I can put my hand right on top of it. It's a little warm, but not bad. If I did that to the 123, I'd probably still leave some skin on top of it. My hand would still be attached.
And that's a good thing. Convection cooling. I can't tell from the picture. It doesn't look like it's vented on the sides, but it's probably got something going on in the top and the back. Real radio is glowing in the dark. Separate transmitter and receive selections stuck into one radio. So you dial up your receive. You go to your crystal control transmit as per the FCC. That's a smaller knob down at the bottom of the radio, and I think there's a spot where you can... Oh, yeah, one question on the spot. When you spot things up, assuming it works, are you listening for a tone or feedback, or are you watching, say, a deflection on the S meter for maximum deflection, or maybe both? Over.
There you go, is the maximum deflection upon the S meter. Put the spot button in and just turn your knob until that little needle goes as far as it will, and you're there.
All right, so it allows you to transmit basically into its own receiver at a very low level. So you're basically giving yourself a radio check, and then you tune that receiver into, when you peak to the top of the max signal, you know not only are you on the right channel, but you're tuned in perfectly wherever that crystal might be, whether it's 27085 or 27084, you are good to go. Radio number 3, and radio number 4 will be the Tram D201 from 23 Skidoo. Radio 23, the Tram TR27E. You just heard it, and you'll hear it one more time. Take a transmission on the bye-bye, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you much. And with that, we'll let you get back to checking in some of the old tube radios.
Which is what I do best. I think that's when I filled out the job application ever so long ago. They didn't want to see me. They didn't want to hear me. They just says, here's a piece of paper. how many radios can you check in an hour? And so I must have done good. So hopefully we'll get more. Thanks.
Contact.
The contact, go ahead, over.
Hey, Dennis, 70 checking in late.
Hey, not a problem. I will bring up the SWL list. I'm glad you can hear me way up there. I know it is a little tough for me to get around. There's some rocks. There are some big rocks in the way. And 70, where are we? Yeah, there's 70 with an X in the square, over.
Right on. Yeah, I could barely hear you when you first started, and then you got pretty strong, and then it's fading again now. So I got you about, I don't know, S4 or something like that, maybe a 5.
Interesting. You are 5 dB over S9 and sounding perfect.
Well, I guess it's a one-way street or something.
Yeah, there's stuff in the way. There's stuff in the way for my wimpy low Starduster, but you, what do you have, like a 150-foot tower over there?
Yeah, it's a max 2000 on the roof.
Sounding good here in Midtown Fresno.
Thanks, Dennis.
Thank you for checking in. Superloop saying that his Panasonic chassis rigs run cool. Even the if you've got a 123, the Robin. I don't know if that's specific to just that model, because they're all the same inside. Maybe they packed too many extra stuff in there. And the Regency Imperial, it's been so long since I've had my Imperial on, I don't remember. I just remember, what I do remember is when the crystals started messing up, I used to put aluminum foil over that little cage inside that had the crystals in it. And if it got hot enough, the frequency, the crystals would come back. I'd get my channel 11 back if I could heat up that crystal area. So maybe my radio wasn't hot enough. Maybe that's not a good thing to do. Do not put aluminum foil in your radio to make it run hotter. OTR standing by. We are listening. We're looking for, I think it's radio number 5. Jingle Singers are ready once again. I don't want to miss them here on a Tube Radio. Hope you are enjoying the evening. We've got plenty of stuff if you're joining us in the green room, and we will be back in a moment with your radios.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite slot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
$60.
Hi, Joe. You got me. I was stretching. I was standing up in my chair and doing a little stretcher size here. And now I'm sitting back down where I should be and getting the OTR list and putting you in as Radio 5. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I know what you mean about stretching. I think I ran up here when I saw there was a vacancy. For sure, Dennis, I'd like to check in Mike Johnson. Messenger 223 with the original microphone, 10 tubes, and we're listening.
And so am I. I'm still making some adjustments here from the satellite link-up, so if things sound a bit weird, that's because I'm turning knobs. Messenger 223. I've got one over my left shoulder here, courtesy of the Mountain Maid. It is illuminated. I never did find out. There was a controversy. I'm leaning back here to get the microphone. There was a I'm going to take just a bit of a transmission here. There was a controversy last week about the connector. Okay, there it is. And I had a better picture here. But we were looking at that connector to see if it looked like a possible original or not. But I don't know. I don't know if you can tell, but it's the 6-pin on the Johnson microphonium. We're dialed up. You are Radio 5. Take a transmission over.
Yeah, 10-4. We don't know about that. We know we've got a few of them hooked up on this end to operate this one. This is the original desk mic to it. Doggone it. Other than that, this one also doesn't have the modulation light. I hope it's warmed up enough. It's been on for about 25 minutes. I see everything is working on this, and I see the old modulation meter putting out a little bit, and probably about pretty close to 4.5 watts.
4.5 watts is a good thing. I think the FCC is happy if they read a 5-watt DC input with a 4-watt output and modulation somewhere around 100%, which I think you're doing just fine. Works well. We're talking about heat generated out of the radios. You can see that the Johnson has a nice convection cooling screen on the top. So I'm going to reach over. This one's been on behind me. And you know what? It's running actually pretty cool. The radio is not running hot at all. So yours is probably likewise.
Yeah, not bad. Considering the Robin, there's a cooker. Doggone it. I guess there's a lot more ventilation on the, I should say, on the Messenger. Robin has not quite as many holes as the Messenger does. This one is just got thousands of them, and yeah, the Robin's got like slits in it, so it runs a little holler. Plus, it's a little low profile, closer to the tubes.
Well, you know, Johnson made big transmitters, big heavy transmitters in the Ranger and the Viking. Well, they were big, but not super big, but they were heavy, cramming in some big tubes. Of course, they were just transmitters. This is the transmitter and receiver, so they did a good job on that. Cool radio. The audio always sounds good on that. The microphone selection's always a good deal. I want to say AJM Jazz is going to take off. It's late. You know, it's late here on the West Coast. You know, it's late wherever they are. But everybody from around the universe enjoying your radios tonight here on the old Tube Radio Network. So we want to say thanks to those who are stopping in and joining us. Our Tube Radio operators, our collectors like Joe. They enjoy it. That's why they come out here, and I personally appreciate the fact that they will take some time out to jump on the radios. It's a good way. It's a good way to make sure that they work. Back to you.
Well, doggone it, Dennis, we appreciate it. We appreciate Modja putting on this rascal. I kind of cheated myself out of a lot of years ago, not ever owning a tube-type radio. I might have done a little broadcasting. If I would have had one. Let's see, we're doing about 4 3/4 watts. But I kind of cheated myself out of owning a tube type.
Well, I did. My original radio was the Navajo realistic, the first realistic Navajo, and it was between that and I think it was a Fanon, which was the Fanon Courier, and that was tube, and I got the realistic Navajo. And then about 2.5 years later, I had a chance to pick up the Regency Imperial, and I did. So I got both. But I haven't been on it in a long time, and it needs some work. But I'm going to be working on it, because that's a dynamite little radio. And we don't often hear enough of them here on OTR, but we do hear enough tube radios like yours. One more transmission. I appreciate it stopping by. The Messenger, EF Johnson Messenger 223 is the one we recommend if somebody can find that for their first radio in a collection. You cannot go wrong. All 23 channels, the S meter, solid EF Johnson construction. Usually comes with a desk microphone and a good workhorse. Not too much that can go wrong.
Yeah, Roger D. Yeah, on picking up the radio, I did have a microphone, a stock microphone on it, and then I acquired the desk mic, which made it a lot nicer. Okay, Dennis, thank you for letting me check this one in, and we'll get another one warmed up.
All right, the old Tube Radio Network, glowing in the dark here tonight, 73 to SWL 76. Thanks for joining us here in Central California. The Tube Radio Network will look for you next time on OTR. We're still around for a couple of minutes checking in radios tonight. So we'll be standing by, listening for radio number 6.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you, wherever you are. The friendliest station for you by far is known to all and
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
Number 7.
Number 7. I heard a clink. No, let's see. The radio we had earlier, that's the Wayne's radio. His makes a clink. His makes a dink. Yours makes a, I don't know if that was a ping or not. Go ahead.
There's the little ping. Just a little tiny short ping. But yes, the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB.
Hey, sounding good. I made an adjustment, and I think I made the wrong adjustment, but I can't reach it, so I'll just leave it alone. Radio number 6 with SWL7 at the helm of the Browning, and yeah, I did a ping that time. Give us another transmission. Over.
There we go. Yes, the two-piece big old radio, whole bunch of tubes, puts out a nice little pattern on the wall from all the tubes lit up. Makes it look real nice. And, of course, the D104 Golden Eagle microphone.
There's the shot I was looking for. I was trying to get the one that gets the Browning or the Golden Eagle microphone in line with the Browning as well. Looking good. Let me bring my audio up just a little bit here on the audio stream. What am I doing? All right, good deal. And I think you can hear me coming through. Browning's sounding good. Two-piece radio. Similar way to find out what channel you're on, like you did with the tram. You got a separate transmitter receiver. You got to do the spot thing. It's just you've got two separate boxes to do it now.
There you go. Yes, definitely a lot more knobs on the Browning than on the tram. Yeah, the two pieces definitely do that. And of course, it has the nice little on-the-air light when you key up on the speaker. That is.
Yeah, that is cool. I wonder if somewhere in a Browning book they give credit. They give credit to an engineer, or maybe they held a contest for their employees. And, Josephine in accounting came up and says, well, the professional radio stations have this on-the-air light, so why not put one on the radio? Hope she got a bonus for that.
Definitely deserving a bonus. Yeah, the on-the-air is definitely really cool. The bulb burnt out in it, and it went out, and I really missed it. So I had to find the darn bulbs to replace it. And now everything's all lit back up again.
Good deal. Is it just a standard bulby type bulb? I'm assuming it's way before any type of LED stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's a bayonet type little light. It's, what is it, 6 volt? 12 volt? I think they're 6 volt. I'm not even sure. I'll have to look.
Okay. Well, it's probably 6 or 12 volts, or maybe they underlight it too. Sometimes if you undercrank the bulb, it will last longer. That was sort of the trick we used to do on the Yaesu 101s. I think you would put in a higher voltage or higher wattage bulb or voltage bulb, so it would run a little bit dimmer, but it would last a lot longer. You are Radio 6 with the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB, and as always, it is sounding good, and the fans of Browning are happy.
Well, thank Thank you very much. And with that, we'll go ahead and sit back and listen to the rest of OTR.
All right, sounds like a good deal. Jim is mentioning Boston 97, that he had the friendly Navajo. It was boring. Well, it did. Now, speaking of on-the-air lights, that first, mine is a TR-27... I'm sorry, it was a TR-27C or B. It was the first Navajo. It did not have the Delta tune. And it had the on-the-air light and the modulation light. And with the hand mic, you really had to scream in that thing to make that modulation light work. But I got a +2 mobile microphone, and I couldn't believe how bright that modulation light got. But unfortunately, the modulation light getting brighter probably doesn't tell you that you're overdriving the microphone and not sounding too good, but it makes you think that you're doing something. I have that radio. I've had the original box. I should probably bring it in sometime and do an unboxing of the realistic Navajo from 1970 or whenever I got it. It should have the plastic or the styrofoam inserts. I don't know if I would turn it on. Let's see, it had a built-in power supply. Or did it? Yes, it had a built-in power supply where you plug it in, or you could run it mobile, which I did on the 12 volts, and the power supply was bad. I didn't notice, or I didn't know at the time, but the first power supplies in the Navajos were awful. And so when I took it mobile, everything was like, oh, the lights are brighter, and it doesn't dim when you talk on it. And I didn't know that that's because those first power supplies were not good. So run those things off of 12 volts. The Old Tube Radio Network, we're going to listen for Radio 7, doing some counting and amounting. Jingle singers are ready, and we're standing by. Hey, Paul, you are staying up late with us tonight. I hear you on the Old Tube Radio Network. Take a transmission over.
Okay. Well, I checked in that 1976 radio. I want to check in a 1961 radio. Their radio telephone MC-4.
You know, the 5s and the 11s get a lot of airplay here on the Old Tube Radio Network. But the general radio telephone MC4, that should be either 1961 or 62, I don't see a lot, don't hear a lot. So let me go find a photo of that, which sometimes actually comes from your collection. Yeah, there it is. I don't know if that's the same one. It's got the great, the heavy-duty microphone, the MC4. Now that looks like an 11-meter CB Class D radio. Take a transmission. Hopefully your receiver didn't drop out on you there, Paul. Go ahead and take a transmission over.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I wonder if it dropped out. Let's see. Oh, you know what? That has a variable receive, so I wonder if I've drifted off. Might be one of those ones if you don't leave it on long enough, you think you're on listening on channel 11, but you never know. Actually, you should be transmitting on 11 though. Well, you heard it, I heard it, the SWLs heard it, and there it is. That's the very radio, the MC4 from Paul. It is radio number 7, and we're hoping that it will come back. And Super Loop Greg says it's the frosted 1847 bulb on the birds for that on the air light. So check the parts box and make sure you got a couple of those. The Old Tube Radio Network. We're standing by for radio number 7 and listening for any others that would like to check in before we hang out. course, the jingle singers could help us out, and they will do that shortly.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
And be modern.
All right, last call, and I'll hang out a little while, see if we can get Paul back. But last call for radio check-ins here on your old, or any check-ins for that matter. We got an SWL and jumping in. Last call for check-ins here on the Old Tube Radio Network. And LeVon saying his nap paid off. You know, they do work wonders, but you've got to get that, you know, a sleep cycle is 90 minutes. So I used to have trouble. If I took a nap that wasn't 90 minutes long, or maybe half of that, 45 minutes, you would wake up and still be groggy. You know, when I was working the TV station really early morning, you know, 3 a.m. and I was doing OTR, I would definitely get that little nap at 5 in the afternoon. And that would make a big difference as to the energy level of your net control operator starting at about 9 o'clock if you've got a nap. But I'm on a different schedule now, so the naps come after the Ovaltine, you know, and Charlie Alpha Tango wanting to take it easy. The Old Tube Radio Network, last call. Yeah, Jim, I think mine was a TR23B, but the 30A was the updated model that I think was better. It may have had a better power supply. It had the Delta Tune. I always remember that Delta Tune because that's one little knob you can tweak, something to do. The Regency had the Delta Tune on it, so Navajos were good. I don't know what chassis they were, but they were actually, if the power supply was good, you didn't have that bad power supply in the early ones, they were actually a pretty nice radio. All right, are they ready? I'm looking through the rack here. They are ready to go. I actually want to get over to the green room tonight, and there's popcorn all over. There's good stuff. So join us after the net, won't you?
This is the Old Tube Radio Network. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by. It's time now for the current OTR totals.
Current and final totals. I think my outboard compressor is doing something bad. Hopefully I sound okay. You can see the blinking lights at the top of the screen. Where is it? Right here. All those blinking lights that are supposed to make me sound good, but don't do much except look like blinking lights. You know what sounds good is getting yourself on a tube radio and keying up, or as we say, is it keying down? Anyway, taking a transmission, if you will. Let's see, 68 SWL tonight, page 10 on page 1, 17 on page 2, 17 on page 3, 24 on page 4. If you're playing the home game, you should have the new roster for the 8 weeks. 00 this week is SWL 51. That is out of Sangertown. 51 out of Sangertown, Dave 305. Also, be sure to add to our list of lists 102. 102 at 102. Sean there in Arkansas, and also over on page 3, the Raccoon Radio Ranch at 76. And Uncle Hairball at SWL 59. A reminder, you don't have to have any numbers or radios to stop by and join us or check in or say a few words. We want to hear from you. Radios tonight, the most heard manufacturer, I think, because we checked in Harvey's. He came up with the 2 radios before he had to go away, and I hope he is resting sound asleep. And maybe join us next week. So looks like the the Brownings, not necessarily the Golden Eagles, but the Brownings were most heard manufacturers. Started off with the General Radio Telephone Super MC 11A from Chris, the Robin T240D from Paul was radio number 2, the Tram TR27E, which we heard twice tonight in its performance on the satellite link to the coast with our Tram D201, and I didn't put down, but that's the early Vox version that everybody wants, but is super hard to get. And that one has been refurbed and sounded really good. We were actually listening to the output of that radio, thanks to the link. So I don't know if anybody's ever linked 2 radios like that, but thanks to, and I haven't seen the Costco card. I have no idea what it costs to do this satellite stuff. Radio number 5, Joe on the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223, like the one, there it is, behind me. Also, radio 6 was the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB with the Golden microphonium, and radio 7, Paul on. It was a brief transmission, and Paul, if you're listening and the radio's still there, come on back in and we'll finish that up. But radio 7 was the General Radio Telephone MC4. I made it through tonight. Nothing seemed to break. Nothing fell down. They're giving me a thumbs up there from behind the screen, saying that you didn't blow it too bad, so thanks. We'll be here next week, the Old Tube Radio Network, Channel 11. Maybe catch some of you on the air on some of the amateur radio frequencies. The bands are getting better. Keep studying for your license if you're looking to get on the amateur frequencies. It could be fun. If you're looking for your first Old Tube Radio, wherever you are to get on, I hope it shows up and works the way you want it. And we will catch you all next week. Oh, and I forgot. It's sitting right here. Here is the pen. I will populate the pocket protector thanks to, let me put up the horrible close-up camera, for Scotty's Service, AM, FM, CB, Paging and Communication Systems, Anderson, Indiana at East 6th Street. There you go. Thank you, Scotty. On the AM, FM, CB, the Paging Communication Systems out there, looking good tonight. And this is a nice pen. It's got a eraser, one of those erasers for ink that's about as hard as a piece of oak. So I'm sure you would drill a hole in your paper before you got rid of the ink, but I guess that's one way to do it. Looks spiffy sitting in there. Good night, everybody. 73. Thanks to SearchLawrence.com, and thanks to you for joining us. We'll catch you next time.
And thank you, Dennis, and thanks to Bozo Control.
That Baker Oscar Zulu guy. And Super Loop, I agree. We don't have enough Imperials checking in. Again, I guess it's going to be up to me to get my Regency up and running on 11. And maybe, I don't know, that would be interesting. I could link it, since it's, if I was transmitting, you wouldn't hear it. Or would you? Well, you wouldn't. So I'd have to link up from here to the satellite, and then the satellite link back down. I wonder if that's allowed. I wonder if you could link up to your own station. Also, X4000 tonight. Thank you for joining us. I don't know if I got you checked in, but there you are. From Canada, got here late but enjoyed being here for a short time. Victor Echo 5, thank you for joining us. Hope all is well there, not too the temperature isn't too much below zero when the wind blows. And we will catch you all later.
Thanks a lot, Dennis.
Okay, it kind of worked. Let's take a quick cruise. Over to 75 meters. Any AM carriers? Not many. There's somebody at 3885, but they're going to be too weak. Going to be too weak for me to hear the audio.
Anyway, good evening to you, Frank.
Good evening from Kentucky as well.
Frank's in Stampede. He's down in the Long Beach, San Pedro area of Los Angeles. You can't hear him, Stan?
Yeah, the band sounds like it's...
Kentucky's even louder now. You're like 20 dB over. Go ahead, Kentucky.
Roger. Yeah, I was just going to tell that guy there he was sounding good at Half Moon Bay, over.
Yeah, the band is long.
Okay, you're listening on the Half Moon Bay.
California stations are here in Kentucky on 75 meters tonight at 3,900. So, tune in next week, won't you? Good night, everybody, from the old tube. Or is that the old tired tube radio network, 73? I think I forgot to change streams. So it's probably going to be one big long archive. All right. Good night, everybody, on the video stream.
Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.